replacing the water heating element. It looks like this. And it started leaking. We need to figure out the cause of the leak. And if it leaked in an unregulated area, we will have to replace the heating element the Geyser brand has inside. A 50-liter tank, an outer shell, field, polyurethane foam, an insulation layer. And now, for rain pressure, you can increase the pressure and observe its behavior. It is visible that the leak is coming from the bottom. This indicates a lack of seal in the inner tank. If there was a leak around the thermostat mounting area, it might have been possible to replace the gasket. Something could have been done. But in this case, it will have to be removed and replaced with another one. So in order to remove this heating element, you first need to drain the water from it and release the pressure. The hot water supply tap is opened and the mixer is turned on. The excess pressure will be released through it. The excess pressure is being released. We unscrew the grounding. For convenience, here it is connected separately, not through a socket. We disconnect two wires. The connection of the control lamp is not just fitted with such connectors, round ones. For now, you can remove the protective cover, but it didn't interfere with the work. The middle supply wires. In front of us is the temperature regulator. And there's nothing else. Nothing is in the way. We unscrew two nuts. The water supply connection. Holding the main pipe. To prevent it from turning, we use a pipe wrench to unscrew the entire tap assembly. Water did not flow because there is a check valve that prevents hot water from going into the cold water system. Now we unscrew the check valve. As long as the hot water tap is not open, water will not flow heavily from here, so there is no danger. And flood the neighbors to an extent that it would completely and thoroughly inundate them. And now, with the bathroom faucet open, you can slightly open the hot water tap. Now we wait for the water from the boiler to drain into the bucket. Finally, the water has drained. We can proceed to disconnect the hot water tap from the pipeline. We also secure the hot water. The wire has a rotation because it might be on its circuits. It could get damaged. Just cancelled it. Now all that's left is to remove it from its hooks and replace it with a new one. So I don't believe it, and on myself. Removed it. In this heating element, the heating element is removable. Everything else is pressed around, so the tank is not subject to replacement. This is the one we bought. A heater from the Concept brand. 1000 watts. Power. Kilowatt. This is enough to heat such a small volume of water. 300 liters. Let's check the package contents. Here's the manual. Even in Russian. Everything is clear. Disassembly, warranty card. There is check valve, new, as the old one got a bit scorched. The fuel regulator is located at the bottom, allowing you to adjust the temperature without removing the plastic cover. We will try to put it in its place. First of all, the boiler needs to be mounted on the wall, and then proceed to connect all the contacts. So let's get started. The boiler is installed in its place. The PMK lead is at the back. The old gas fuel supply. We remove the plugs on the tank. You can pour out the remaining water. Sealing. I will use regular tow and sealant with which we will coat this tow. After winding, we wrap the tow in a clockwise direction in a thin layer. Excess is also unacceptable here. There is moderation in everything. At this angle, we apply sealant, just a little bit. It serves the purpose of lubricating the threads. And sealing, it does not dry out over time. Make sure absolutely nothing gets into the pipe. We will proceed to screw in the faucet into its place. Here, it's also important not to over tighten and to ensure that the X-ray was watching us. Turn, guide it, and then tighten with a wrench. For ease of work, you need to remove the plastic cover with a wrench which is attached with 2 screws on one side and the other. When connecting the cold water faucet, don't forget to install a check valve, because if you don't, your neighbors will complain about hot water in the toilet. First, you need to take it and screw it on without hemp or tow to determine the number of turns. If we tighten it too much, the thread cuts into this plastic bushing and it might stop functioning. Therefore, we count the number of turns needed to avoid stripping this plastic bushing. 1, 2, 3, 4. No more tightening is allowed. After wrapping with tow and applying sealant, screw it on. 1 turn. 2. Less is possible, more is not. If it reaches 3 turns, these resistances mean it's enough. I have a turn. Out of 4, this is quite sufficient for reliable fixation. Here the tow is wrapped. It is necessary to tighten the tap very carefully so as not to damage anything. The distance between the outlets is the same in all boilers, so it's easier for us to work with this. The valves are installed. Everything is in its place. Now we can check the tightness of all the joints. We open the valves. So far, there are no leaks. It's very important not to over-tighten the valve, because if it is made of thin metal, cracks may appear and you'll have to buy a new valve. Also, if you have a transition between yellow metal and white, in this case, it is permissible to use only winding and sealant, because in this case, PTFE tape will be ineffective. After checking the water supply for leaks, you need to proceed with connecting the electrical part. Here at the bottom of the thermostat there are 2 screws for securing the power cable and 2 terminals for connecting the indicator light, which signals whether the boiler is on or off. There is also a special bolt and screw for grounding the boiler. Connect the power cable. The power cables are installed. Now, it is necessary to attach the grounding to this bolt. The final step is to install the protective cover with the connection of the light bulb, which signals the operation of this device. In the next step, connect the lamp to its terminals. Here there are 2 holes into which we insert the contacts of the lamp wire and the necessary wire fastener. Power into the socket and screw the cover onto the boiler. First, we will set this small circle, which should fit into the lever when the temperature connector is used. The cover is secured with 2 screws in its original place. After these simple manipulations, you can proceed to test the boiler to see how it heats. Plug it into the socket. Connect the boiler to the socket. The power light is on. We will now set the temperature approximately to the middle. Not too low, not too high. If we turn it clockwise, it decreases. Counterclockwise, increases. Now let's set it to the middle.
Approximately half an hour, about 30 minutes, and we check.
The water is running, it's warm, so
everything is done correctly. After the boiler reaches the temperature, the power light will go out. This will indicate that the temperature is set and we can adjust it to what we need. This is done easily and simply by a home handyman. Replacing a boiler is not a difficult task and is accessible to everyone. Give a thumbs up, write your remarks and comments. Be the main ones. Goodbye everyone.